And now that light is really starting to go. I'm probably going to start thinking about changing up the rigs a little bit. I'm going to still fish with one bream rig. I'm going to fish with 2 of those sole rigs. And I'm probably going to bait up a bass rig. Yes! Yes! Good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome back to Frugal Outdoors with myself, Dylan. And we're out fishing. We're out fishing just before sunset. Now, if anyone watched my last video, which was a comp, which I didn't actually do too bad, I came joint second place with 1 fish, you'll know that it was absolutely horrific conditions. But today we are blessed with clear skies and very, very little wind. Now, I must confess, I'm pretty rubbish at looking after my fishing gear. And like a lot of you, I'm sure, after a fishing session, you chuck your rods back in the bag, if you have a bag at all, chuck your reels back in your box until the next time you go fishing, which is exactly what I did. So now everything is pretty crusty. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun tonight, hopefully. Well, hopefully we'll have some fun. I had fun last time out. It just wasn't very good fishing. But I've got a bunch of worm left over and I really wanted to use it up. And I thought, well, what better way to use it up than to come out and to see if we can't get a sole. So tonight, we are actually gonna be targeting a species. We're gonna be targeting a sole. So I've got a couple of sole rigs, which I didn't even use the other night. I've got my usual bream rigs and pulley pennels and dongles and stuff like that. And I feel like we've got a reasonably decent tide. Now, obviously, I wouldn't come out just with worm. I mean, I'll be completely honest, worm isn't my bag at all. I very, very, very rarely fish with worm. It's only really when there's a comp. And because we've got it left over, we're gonna use it. But to go with that, I've got some leftover squid, I've got some sardines, I think I've got a couple of sand eels left over as well. So we'll be chucking some other baits out there. We've got some bream rigs, we've got some other bits. We'll go through all that in a second. But yeah, hopefully we can get a fish. The sunset looks absolutely stunning, so I'll quickly show you that, and then we'll get going. Oh, I'm really looking forward to tonight. We've only got about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes of daylight left, which is a bit unfortunate, but man, you just forget how quickly it gets dark now. It's gonna be dark by 7 o'clock. Well, not dark, but dark enough. Right, first rig I'm gonna put out is one of my bream rigs. Everybody knows I do love a bream rig, and all of my rigs are available from the website at www.frugal.od.co.uk. So it's a nice simple one up, one down with a couple of pop-up beads on the top snood and just some normal glowy beads on the bottom snood. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just chuck a couple of bits of squid, because you never know, there might actually be a bream out there, and I do like to catch a bream. It's actually tons of mosquitoes flying around, so this could be fun. So I've got one of my leftover squid, and I'm just going to cut up the body of the squid, take off a strip about 10 mil, another one of 10 mil ish, give or take anyway, you know, and then I'm just going to thread a bit of squid on that hook, size 1 chenuse on this one. We'll bind that on a bit. We'll bait the other hook exactly the same, and we're going to fire this one out straight away. Quite lucky tonight. I'm hitting the tide bang on low tide, which means I'm hitting it at prime time, really. Prime time, sun has pretty much set already, so we're just going to get the residual daylight, and then that's it. We're going to be head torches on. Right, let's get this one out. Just gonna hit it straight in front of me, see what happens. I've no idea what sort of depth of water we got out here. I didn't feel it hit the bottom, so I'm thinking there's not a whole bunch, but we'll give it a go. So I never really target sole or anything like that, so it's just fun to have a go as soon as I've got the worm. Now I'm imagining that this one is going to move left to right because I'm fishing in the Solent. So I'm fishing on the south coast of the UK, straight into the Solent, fishing off the Isle of Wight. And when that tide comes through, it runs left to right and it goes like a train sometimes. Now it's not such a bad tide tonight, so we should be okay. But there's definitely a chance that that lead is going to move, and that's why I'm fishing with 7-ounce grippers. Right, let's get this other one baited. I think I'm going to fish exactly the same rig. That's what I normally do. When I'm coming out fishing this sort of time of year, through the summer really as well, the first couple of rigs I'll chuck out will be bream rigs. One, because you can catch anything on them. Two, because you can catch bream on them. And also it's a nice little sort of scratching rig as well. So I'm going to chuck 2 out just while we've got some daylight. As soon as that light goes, then I'll chuck a sole rig out. Got this one in a bit of a tangle. All these ones are second hand. I've been using them for a couple of sessions now. Should really freshen them up a little bit, but they'll be fine. And what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to bait it up with a little bit of ragworm and tip those off with some squid. Now I do like to use a needle for baiting up ragworm. Not everybody does, and that's cool, but I've got size 1 chenus. I certainly haven't got very big hands, but I do find it a little bit of a fiddle to bait them up. So I use a baiting needle, find it much easier, and then you can just thread that straight over, and that is baited perfectly. And I think I've been done by a mosquito. There we are. Bloody things, eh? There was a stage where I used to go out and I used to take mozzie spray because some of the venues, man, on the Isle of Wight, where you got a lot of damp areas, you know, it's not swamp as such, but we've got a lot of clay, and a lot of that clay is always holding moisture and it's slippy, and well, it's actually called blue slipper clay. It holds loads of moisture and it holds loads of mosquitoes. So we get inundated, and yeah, I've been whacked already on the back of the hand. So there we are. That one's baited with worm on the top, some worm on the bottom, and we'll just flick this one out a little bit closer in, and we'll see if we can find a bite. I was going to tip it with squid, but I won't. You never know, you might pick up a wrasse or something. Wrasse isn't not going to take squid, but it might take some worm, and it's beautiful out there. Let's see if we can catch a fish, shall we? So that one on the left has not moved at all. So I'm going to cast this one a little bit down tide, not up tide, a little bit down tide, and we'll see how we get on. God, we might get one more cast in daylight hours, and then I think that will be it. But there we are, both rods are out and we're fishing, and I should have probably turned the tip lights on already. I can get a third rig ready, which actually I might bait up a sole rig anyway. I've got a ton of worm. I need to get through it. I don't want to go home with any worm tonight. I don't mind if I go home with some sardines. Don't mind if I go home with some squid. I'll just refreeze it. But the worm, I want to use it while it's fresh. Now I just had a knock straight away on that ragworm bait. It's still there. Something very small. But it's something. Let's have a little look, shall we? I haven't even got another rig ready yet. Let's have a feel. Oh yeah. Got to go down because there's a lot of rocks in front of me. It's a little bit of a walk at the moment, but that tide will soon come in. There we go. It's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful little cork-wing wrasse. Colours on these are amazing. Now, of course, we all know there's much bigger fish out there, and much more exciting fish to catch. But those cork-wing wrasse are really pretty, amazing colours and markings on their face. See, look, I'm trying to put this worm on now, and I'm not having much joy. That will have to do. And again, it was on the pop-up, so when I call this my bream rig, it's kind of my sort of any fish rig really. Caught plenty of smooth hounds on this, and as you can see now, just caught a nice little wrasse. Right, let's go again. The air is thick with mosquitoes right now. Not very nice. Another half an hour and it'll be dark and hopefully they'll be gone. Yeah, and we smashed the 6,000 subscriber mark recently as well. So thank you everyone for subscribing. Thank you to all the new subscribers and stuff, because obviously it makes you feel like you're doing something right. Now, I've never shared a video on other social media. I don't have Facebook. I did have Facebook for a small period of time, but I never posted any of my videos on there. I've never shared them or anything. Yeah, so to get to over 6,000 subscribers just from people watching it and clicking that subscribe button really does feel like quite an achievement. So thank you. Right, enough yakking. Let's get a head torch on, it's getting dark. Let's try and bait that third rig, because I haven't got round to it yet. Well, there we go. I finally got my third rig baited. And this is the rig that I'm going to be using for sole tonight. And to be honest, there's definitely a chance of picking up all sorts of bits and bobs on it anyway. But essentially, it's what they call a Wessex rig. A Wessex rig means you've got a running lead kind of in the middle of your rig body. You've still got your hook snood at the top, but then you've got another hook snood at the bottom. A lot of the rigs designed for sole fishing, the snoods are actually weighted as well, so it nails that hook right on the bottom of the seabed. But I think this is going to be good enough, to be honest. And obviously I've got some nice size 2 semicircle hooks on there. They are absolutely razor sharp. So if anything tries to taste one of these worms, with any luck, it should get hooked. And now that light is really starting to go, I'm probably going to start thinking about changing up the rigs a little bit. I'm going to still fish with one bream rig. I'm going to fish with 2 of those sole rigs. And I'm probably going to bait up a bass rig. And every now and again, sporadically, I'm just going to chuck out one of those sardines or half a sardine just over to the left somewhere, or a little bit maybe further down tide, or move the lights around. That's what I'll do. I'll fish it down tide and let it swing around. And maybe we'll pick up a bass. But we're not blanking, we've had a wrasse. And there we are. That is my first sole rig going out now. Now, as far as I'm aware, sole come in pretty close. So, like I say, if we get one, bonus. But I'd like to catch a fish. I would like to catch a sole. I'd be lying if I said anything different, but I'm going to chuck this one out maybe 30 or 40 yards and see how we get on. And now that I am actually having a go and it is dark, I've moved my light. So my light is shining this way. So I'm not casting a shadow onto the sea, which means, you know, in theory, like if I'm fishing for bass or also sole, I think don't like the light too much. So I've been told anyway. Yeah, hopefully that will help us. And yeah, just try and keep the head torch off the sea as much as we can until we get a bite, and then I panic and then I switch everything on. If we get a bite, fingers crossed. I think we got it. Yeah, we must have. No idea what it is. Oh, it's gone very light. Oh no. Well, I really thought we might have had a bream then, but it's not. No, I was really trying for one of these the other night in the match, just so I could hopefully try and get home. But it's a little pouting on the pop-up, but we'll take it. And do you know what? I'm going to keep this because I'm going to probably use this for bait as a bass bait later on. But it's another fish and it's another species. And speaking of bass, that's the next one going out. Half a sardine, a nice big 5/0 circle hook, a little 2-ounce plain lead on an earth bar. I'm just going to flick this out, maybe 20 yards. I think I'm going to focus with the smaller rigs on one side and just muck around on the other side like I normally do, really. But it's been a little bit quiet for half an hour or so. I've been changing up the baits, chucking out some ragworm baits, and I've also had a bass bait out there for a little bit, so I'm going to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to change this one, put a bream rig out, and just keep firing out that ragworm on that left-hand side. Hopefully we can find a fish. I'm thinking as soon as I put that squid out, I'm definitely giving myself more of a chance, I think. I don't know. At least picking up something. Not the target species, but something. The trouble I have is when I come fishing, I'm not very good. I've said it before, I'm not very good at targeting species because I get a little bit bored and then I just want to fish and just catch some fish and enjoy the session. And sometimes I find if you're targeting something specific, bream, smoothhounds and stuff like that are quite easy. Certainly bass and sole, you know, they're much more specific and it can be a little bit harder, and dare I say a bit boring to try and fish for. But we'll keep persisting anyway. We've got quite a few hours left to go, so not even halfway through the session yet. Yeah, I must admit, I do like to try and keep the interest going. So, you know, bites and stuff like that, you know, it's exciting. You see that rod tip move, then the excitement goes. You know, it might be a tiny little strap conger, it might be a pouting. And in this case, I kept it. So I got my 5/0 hook there. I was going to whack that straight in, do the top of its nose, and you can see there what I've done is I've cut it at a diagonal straight down the back of the head, all the bit of brains and stuff there even, and then all the guts and everything is there. So that to me is a beautiful bass bait. So we'll chuck that out in maybe 10-15 minutes and see how we got on with that. Now that was a nice positive bite. Straight away on that bream rig. Go on. There's something there still, playing around. All that talking of little strap conger eels, I think I might have just talked myself into one here. Oh, we got it. Let's have a look. What did I tell you? It's exactly what happened. Talked myself right into that one. Whoa, there we go. One very, very lively conger eel. Let's get this one back in. Well, we're catching fish anyway, aren't we? But 3 fish, 3 different species. There's only a little tiddler, but at least there's some stuff out there. I'm looking forward to putting this out. Right, let's chuck this pouting head out and see how we get on with that. We got something. I thought it'd come off, but it had slacklined me. We've got something on that pouting head. Yes! Yes! Oh yeah! You little beauty! Oh yes! We just got an amazing bass. On the bass rig, on the pouting head, for a bass. It's a nice one. Look at that puppy. That's not bad, is it? Look at it, standing nice and proud. Oh, that's gotta be 3 pounds all day long. What a nice looking fish. It's totally covered in sand and gravel. I'm really sorry, but oh, how awesome. I am chuffed to bits with that. Wicked. There we go. I'll just give it a nice clean off. Look at that for a beautiful fish. Really chuffed with that. Oh man, we're dining on bass, that's for sure. There we go, look at that. Hopefully you can see that. That's just a smidgen over 4 pounds. Chuffed. Oh, I'm so chuffed. Totally been ignoring the other one. 4 pound, that is not a bad bass. I'm gonna say perfect for the table. It is so nice, like actually getting a fish when you're trying for one. So do you know what I'm gonna do? Because this bait is actually not too bad, but I'm gonna chuck out some squid again, because I've got it all baited ready to go. So I'm gonna chuck out the bream rig, see if we can't catch another pouting, some nice fresh bait. If I can't, then I'll put this back out, because it's actually not in bad nick. Yeah, I did the typical panic then. I started reeling in, I could feel it, and then I couldn't feel anything at all. And I was reeling for ages, but it must have been swimming towards me. And yeah, I thought it'd come off and thought I'd just missed my chance. And lo and behold, yeah, there it was. Oh, I'm buzzing. So yeah, new title for the video. Fishing for sole and bass. And target achieved. Yeah, love a target achieved. Target achieved. Target acquired. Right, see if we can't find another bait fish. Oh, awesome. Ah, buzzing. That is exciting. That is completely worth coming out for. Someone just had a right old pull on this. I literally just got up off the seat box just to stretch my legs a little bit, and the rod just started bouncing. Oh, very strange. That was definitely a bite. Literally stood up and it just went onk, onk. It's only on the bream rig. I'm going to go and sit down again, I think, and see if it goes again. I'm going to have to bring that in. I'm going to have a look, because I've got a feeling you know, something might have bitten the snood off. Well, both the hooks are still there. That one is definitely in a tangle, so I'm going to say that's the one that got hit. It's all tangled up. So let's chuck that pouting head back out for a minute. 2 fish on 1 pouting head would be fun, wouldn't it? That head just went again. We've got another one, you know. Yeah, we have. Yes, we have. Unbelievable. Yeah, mate. Just had another bass on that same bait. There we go, how about that? 2 bass on 1 bait. Now that is definitely being frugal. I am so chuffed with that. Amazing. Pouting head. 2 bass. 2 bass to the fridge. That's it, I'm done. Oh man. That is cool. To be honest, I think I'm done with this. It's done us proud. We've had 2 bass on it. The next bass that can have that can eat it. I'll chuck this rig out quick and I'll weigh it. See what that one is. And there we go, look, just in case we're in doubt, here we go, we've got a 45 centimetre rule there. And that is probably 46, 47. But look at the size difference, so crazy. But yeah, I imagine actually, I thought that one might be about £2, but let's quickly check it. And that one is £2 1. So we've got a 4-1 and a 2-1. Now obviously in the UK, you can only keep 2 bass per fisherman. So I'm keeping both of those fish. So yeah, so obviously now there's no real point in me targeting bass at all. So at the moment I've got a bream rig out there and I've got a sole rig. I've got another sole rig baited to go out. And basically I've put the lid back on my cool box. And all I'm gonna fish with now is some ragworm and to see if we can't scratch around and pick something else up for probably the last sort of hour that I've got left really fishing. Yeah, chuffed. Ah, let's change this ragworm bait up. Not having a sniff on the ragworm at all, apart from that wrasse right at the beginning in daylight. I've had absolutely nothing on the ragworm. Try this one a little bit closer in. I've got to get over these rocks, so can't keep it too short. It's gone very, very quiet now. So I've had my last cast on the right hand rod already, and I'm just about to have my last cast on this one. Last ragworm going out now. You never know, we might get lucky, we might get that lucky sole. Crikey, something moved over there. Do you know what, I haven't got the old the jitters or whatever you want to call it while I've been fishing for quite some time, where the old hair goes up on the back of your neck, but it just did it then. That's 2 amazing shooting stars I've seen tonight. When they leave a proper trail in the sky, it's amazing. Thought I was getting a couple of touches on this right-hand rod, but doesn't appear to be doing anything. That wind is picking up. It's actually got quite chilly now. I have got another layer, but I'm determined not to put it on. It's still September. Definitely happy I've got a beanie on though. Oh, it's such a big sky tonight. Really, really stunning. As you can see, I've brought one of the rods in. I just need to bring the other one in and then pack them both down and get home. Probably have a bite to eat because it's quite chilly, and I could probably do with a little snack. Thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate you giving up your time to watch another one of my videos, so it is massively appreciated. I ended up really enjoying this session. Before I left, I wasn't really that fussed about coming out, but because I had loads of worm, it's like, no, I will go out, I will try for a sole. We didn't get a sole, but we did nail 2 bass, so I'm really chuffed about that. I will try and get out and have another little sole session. I would like to get another one. I've only ever caught one, so I would like to go out, target one and get one. There used to be loads on the island, and now unfortunately, obviously the stocks are a lot lower than they used to be. Hopefully some of you would have watched the video that I did announcing the comp that we're going to put on. That's November the 8th. So if anyone's on the island or off island, it really doesn't matter. If anyone is interested in joining in our comp, which is the Isle of Wight open to all fishing competition, then please do let us know. You can always drop into Slamfish Bait and Tackle, which is in Carisbrooke Business Park. But you can also sign on at www.frugal.od. There will be a small additional fee to pay for that, because I will have to pay for a transaction fee. But anyway, enough waffling. Until the next one, please take care, stay safe, and maybe I'll see you out there. Cheers.